Every city on Earth glowed on the screen, and beside each one, the same 3 words. Do not wake them. Mara didn't breathe. The signal had crossed 4 light years from Proxima Centauri, and it was not a message to us. It was a warning about us. It was 3 in the morning at the observatory, and Mara was the only soul awake for miles. Coffee cold, headphones on. For 11 nights, she had chased a whisper that refused to explain itself, a narrow band of radio no natural thing should make. The signal repeated, not random static, a pulse, tightly tuned, arriving on a rhythm you could set a clock to. It came again and again, always from the same faint point of light, the nearest star to our sun. A small, angry, red dwarf. She almost deleted it. Years ago, they caught a signal from Proxima too. Everyone held their breath, and it turned out to be a broken oven somewhere on Earth. Interference. She learned to expect disappointment. Her finger hovered over the key. Then the pulse changed. Whoever sent it wanted to be understood. It carried prime numbers first, 2, 3, 5, 7. The language nothing living stumbles into by accident. Then the frequency of hydrogen, the one note the whole universe shares. Keys. A door being handed to her. So, Mara opened it. She expected mathematics, some elegant proof, a greeting written in physics. Instead, the numbers began to fall into a grid, pixel by pixel, line by line. Not language at all. An image was assembling itself out of the dark, and she leaned closer, pulse hammering. Coastlines. She knew those coastlines. The grid resolved into continents, the exact shape of home, oceans, and all, seen as if from far above. Something 4 light years away was showing her Earth. And Earth, on the screen, was slowly filling with light. One by one, the cities lit. London, Cairo, Tokyo, every human settlement marked with impossible precision, a map no telescope in existence could ever draw from that distance. And beside each glowing point in that patient prime number code, 3 words repeated. Do not wake them. Her hands were shaking. She reached for the phone and stopped. Call who? Say what? That the closest star had sent a photograph of our own cities, each one flagged like a sleeping animal you must not disturb? They'd laugh. They'd send her home. She stayed. She made herself think it through. Proxima is 4¼ light years away. Whatever sent this, sent it more than 4 years ago. Its light only reaching her now. A cool, flaring star. One Earth-sized world huddled close for warmth. Who could possibly be there? And that was the part that made her cold. From 4 light years, radio blurs, and smears. You could never resolve a single city, let alone everyone. It was flatly impossible. Unless whoever made this map hadn't been looking through a telescope. Unless they had been much, much closer. She remembered a fact she taught first years every autumn. Our old broadcasts, the radar, the television, the noise of a loud young species, have been leaking into space for a century. That bubble of sound had long since washed over Proxima. Anyone there had heard us for decades, so they knew we were here. They had listened to our music and our wars and our weather reports for a lifetime, and after all that, they had chosen exactly one instruction to broadcast back across the void. Not hello, not help, not stop. Simply, do not wake them. Mara paced the empty control room, the phrase turning in her head like a key that fit 3 different locks. Maybe we were being protected. Maybe something dangerous slept beneath our cities, and the map was a fence. Keep out. Tread softly. Whatever you do, don't dig too deep. Or, and this thought crawled up her spine, maybe we were the them. Maybe to something older and colder out there, humanity itself was the sleeper, a thing best left dreaming in its cradle of blue. A warning passed between neighbors. Leave that world be. Don't rouse what lives on it. There was a 3rd reading, and it was the worst. What if the map wasn't new at all? What if it was ancient, drawn long before humans stood upright, and the cities we saw were only sitting on top of far older marks? Something buried. Something waiting under the streets. She turned back to the screen to save the file, and froze. The map had changed. A cluster of lights near the coast had shifted, brightened, rearranged. This wasn't a photograph frozen 4 years in the past. It was updating. Right now. In perfect time with the cities below her window. The truth arrived all at once, and it took her breath. The signal wasn't coming from Proxima. It was being relayed off Proxima, bounced back to us, because it had never originated out there. The warning began here, on Earth. Something was broadcasting from beneath the map, keeping the neighbors away. Not aliens watching us, a caretaker. Something ancient wound into the crust of our own world, whispering to the stars for as long as there had been stars to whisper to. Do not wake them. A lullaby, a quarantine. And lately, Mara understood. We had been getting very, very loud. On the screen, in a city she couldn't quite name, a single marker began to flicker. The 3 words beside it stuttered, faded. For the first time on the entire map, one point of light stood unlabeled, its warning gone silent. As if, somewhere below, someone had finally begun to stir. Mara sat with her finger over the transmit key. She could tell the world, trigger the panic, the headlines, the frantic drilling for whatever lay beneath us. Or she could stay silent and let it sleep a little longer. She had chased a discovery her whole life. Now she was terrified of it. She lifted her hand away. Some doors you're handed a key to, and the wisest thing is not to turn it. She saved the file, locked it, told no one. Outside, dawn came up gray over a city that had no idea a word had just been spoken over its head. But she kept the map open on a screen in the corner, always. And every night she checks that one flickering light, the city whose warning keeps trying to go dark. It hasn't finished waking. Not yet. She's the only person on Earth who knows to watch it. So here's the question she leaves you with, the one that follows her into sleep. If a neighbor across the dark looked at our bright, restless world and marked it, do not wake them, then which of us was ever really the sleeper they were so afraid to disturb?